So welcome back to my channel. This is Dom, and as threatened or promised, my first game of Border Wars under a Reaver Moon. These are the new rules for the Border Wars Kickstarter that in McDonald at Flags of War launched towards the end of last year, or the end of 2022, sorry. I'm not sure when this video is going up. And I love them. I painted the figures very quickly because they are awesome. And also got some other figures from other manufacturers to allow me to play a small game or two. And I thought I'd give the rules a go. So this is my first game. I'm keeping it really simple, but I'm sure mistakes will be made. The rules are actually pretty simple. And we'll work through that as we go, and hopefully it's not a tutorial because, hey, this is my first learning game too, but we might all learn this together at the same time. So I'm going to play a very simple game. I'm going to play one of the scenarios in the back is to the death. This one here, which is basically two local families agree to settle their score in a fight to the death. Now, it's unusual because the rules talk about most of the Reaver conflict being a question of just getting in and getting out with as much booty as you can and not killing too many, because that way you attract the attention of the Rozzers. But this one is, I think, is very much a learning scenario, which is why I've taken it. So I've set up the table just in a purely random way. The idea is that both sides come on and just basically kick the snot out of each other. That's the plan. So what I've set up is, now I don't have a 3x3, which is what this should be played on, so I've got a 4x4, but I've started everything a foot in. So they were agreeing to meet by the old ruined tower. That's the scenery. You've got one group coming in there. We'll call them the McTavishes. And then, what should we call these? The Armstrongs down here. There's a little wood over there. A little wood over there. Some hills around the place. The ruin itself. A field with a bit of a broken down wall around it. Some rocks here. And some rocks over there. As I say, I've started the groups in a foot in on the table so that they'll get to grips in the required amount. Now both gangs, here's the McTavishes, the guy at the back is our leader. You get a leader for free. So he is there, he's got a sword, breastplate and pistol. He's got a hero with him, which is this guy at the front, who's also got a breastplate and sword and dagger, I think, as well. Now I think everything is assumed to have a dagger. I think that's the rules from what I remember. He's got three regular soldiers with him. He's got an archer, a guy with a very long pole, and a guy with a poleaxe. So that's the McTavishes, and over here is the Armstrongs. There's their leader there. They've got a hero here, a guy with an arquebus musket there, and another two soldiers, one with a sword and a flaming torch. Don't know why he needs that, maybe it's cold. It's cold in the Highlands. And a spearman with a shield. Just at that point the sun comes out, which is very un-Scottish. So that's cruel, because the one time I've been to Scotland it was absolutely beautiful weather. Anyway, so we're going to play this out. We'll start the game. So I've set out the cards. You get special ability cards, you get event cards and heroic action cards. There's the character cards. So I'm going to have to duplicate some of these because you get cards per clan pack that you buy. Now I don't have at the moment there is only one mounted and one dismounted pack. I would imagine Ian will at some point make these available for it, so you can put in. There probably is a download where you can download your own cards to make up your own characters, and it wouldn't be difficult to do it anyway. But the interesting thing with these rules, success is over 4 on the dice. Now, depending on the type of character, you use a different type of dice. So, a leader generally uses a D10 dice. So you need 4+. It's got more chance of succeeding. A soldier rolls a D6. So you can see how it works out. There's the hero. He has a mixture of D8s and D10s. And again, the soldiers. So that's quite good. It's quite easy for even a simpleton like me to work out that you need 4s generally to make things happen. Also, most things work on 9 inches. So movement is 9 inches, command radius is 9 inches, which is also very good. Now, I haven't gone for any mounted here. They have slightly longer, obviously. But I'll just get this set up and we'll crack on. Right, so I got that wrong already. Told you it's a playthrough. So it's 6-inch moves and 9-inch for cavalry. It's charges that are 9 and 12. Right. Anyway, we've assigned. I've drawn cards. So I put a token by each of the big men. This is a command token. So everybody has to activate themselves, and they have 2 actions when they do activate. But the big man or the leader can use his command token to tell one of his characters who's within 9 inches, that's where the 9 inches come in, to activate without needing to roll for it. So that's kind of useful. And the heroes or the leaders get that every single turn, and they can spend them at any time. But you can only ever spend them on one character. So you couldn't stockpile 3 and give a soldier 3 orders, for instance. He would only be able to give 3 different men orders. For each hero or each leader, you draw 3 special ability cards. So I'm just going to look and see what these are. So we've got Devastating Charge. You get an extra modifier if you charge to contact, which is kind of useful. Deed Strike. Character rolls an extra damage dice after they've won close combat. And Deed Eye. Character rolls 1 extra damage dice after they have hit their target in the shoot attack. Okay. And then this is for this gang, the Armstrongs. And then the hero also gets 2 special ability cards. He's got Super Agile, which adds 1 to his agility dice roll. And he also got High Intelligence, gains a +1 to intelligence rolls. Now these are held in the hand, and I believe can be played at any point in your turn, or if they impact the opposition, you play them then. They're never replaced, but they're theirs to use, and I believe you can use them on any characters. Yeah, I believe that is true. Now these heroic actions, you get 2 of these for each hero. Now again, these can be assigned to different characters. We've got Quick Shot. When a rival player currently has initiative, you can choose to have your character shoot before they activate by playing this card. Does not count as your hero's activation for the turn. Interesting. And then Take Aim. A hero can re-roll a failed shoot roll when taking this card, playing this card. Now, that's interesting. So that would suggest that you only use them for heroes. Now, given the fact our hero doesn't actually have any shooting ability, it's not really much use to us. I guess those are the breaks, right? So no use to us at all, because these are all shooting ones that our hero doesn't have. And I've just checked, you do have to use it with the hero. These are both activations for shooting, so no use to the Armstrongs at all. Let's have a look at what the other clan have got. So these are their special abilities. You've got Expert Reaver. When carrying out a Reaver action on an objective, the character automatically that's not going to be much use to us either. Vicious. The character can re-roll the attack dice fumbles during close combat attack. The second result is final. So if you roll a 1 in combat, it's deemed a fumble. So obviously that can be used to counteract it. And Marksman. Character can re-roll a shoot dice fumbles during a shoot action in the second. So again, useful. Very useful. The other McTavish ones are Slippery. Anytime this character is attacked, close combat and shooting, they can roll their agility, and if they pass it, they dodge the attack and can move away 3 inches in a random direction. That sounds good. Tough as nails, the character gains +1 to the defense dice roll. Interesting. And their heroic actions are move. When a rival player has initiative, you can choose to move your character before by activating this card. Doesn't count as a heroic activation for the turn. Wow. And they've also got quick charge. When a rival player currently has initiative, you can play this card and have your hero carry out an immediate charge in close combat before they can attempt activation. This doesn't count as your activation of the turn. So that's, again, very powerful. That's 2 very strong. Now, I just want to make sure. So the heroics can only go with the hero. So I'll put those over there. Unfortunately, the Armstrongs hero actions aren't any use to us, as I say, because they're for shooters, and we haven't got any shooters. Just want to check. It doesn't say with the other ones that we can use. It says, doesn't make it clear. I think we can use them on any card, any figure. I think so. We'll see. So these are kept in the hand, and we'll see how it goes. I'll try and remember what we've got. So I'll lay these out down the edge of the table so I know what I've got. And these ones I put over the other side, so again I know what I've got. I will forget, obviously. Okay, so turn determination is very straightforward. You roll on the leader's intelligence. Now they both have 8 intelligence, or D8 intelligence. So basically the highest goes first. So we'll say blue dice is the McTavishes at the far end, and black is the Armstrongs down here. So the McTavishes have priority. They basically activate everything until they stop. So they activate each figure one at a time. Once he's finished, they may move on to the next one. If they fail, they pass the initiative to the other family. Right then, we're over with the McTavishes. First up, now remember I could use my command token to activate any of these guys here, but it seems a bit early to be doing that, so we're not going to do that. I'm going to order what's the ranges? That's important. Kind of important, really. Okay, so our bowman has a range of 20 inches. So not in range yet to fight anybody. So I'm going to activate the bowman. I'm going to send him out this way with the first activation. Now he just is a regular squaddy. He rolls a d6. He needs 4 or more to activate. He rolls a 3. Now if he only fails on a 2 or a 3, he still has 1 action, but it can only be a move or a reload. So he will move 6 inches that way. We put a little marker against him to say he has activated. So I think it says that if you fail your activation, the command now passes to the other team. So although he did do something, he did fail to roll. So we'll move over to the Armstrongs. So the Armstrongs. So what are we going to do with these guys? I think what they're going to do is send the shieldman, spear and shieldman, going to activate him. So again, he's a D6, needing a 4. He passes. So he has 2 actions. So then we're going to move 1 forward and move a second to there. So it's going to try and take possession of that wall there. Now because he passed, we continue with the Armstrongs. So this guy here has got a Calver which has a range of 24. He's actually, wrong figure, he's actually in range already. Long range, admittedly. So what we might do is try and activate him, I think. He rolls a 6, so he activates as well. Should we shoot? I have no idea how effective shooting is, so let's try it. So he's going to attempt to fire at their archer who's running over there. So the range is 22.5 inches. So the rules are: the attacker declares the target and is within line of sight and range of the weapon, which it is. You roll a shoot dice. Adding any abilities. Have we got any extra? Nothing particularly to use on the cards. So our soldier here, he is a shoot ability of D6. So I think we'll just carry on as we are. So he just needs then a 4+ to hit. Rolls a 3, so he misses. When the attacker fails to hit a rival that's not activated this turn, the unactivated defender can carry out an immediately shoot action, if it's loaded, as reaction to fire. The defender will be considered activated for the rest of the turn. Now that figure has already activated, so they can't do anything. So we missed. Now Culver does need to reload, and therefore we need to put a... can he reload on the same turn he fired? Culver requires 2 loading. Okay, right. So it's got long range, but it takes a bit of reloading. So he's still got 1 action left, because he took him 1 action to fire. So he remains with 1 reload action against him. And we'll put activation. Fairly obvious, I think, anyway. So that's my second. So that was successful again. So he's now going to order this guy to move forward. So again, a 3, because he needed a 4, is a failure, but he can do 1 move. He can interpenetrate, as such, these figures, as long as you don't stop on the bases. So he can go round that guy there, basically. And he has activated. Right, we'll move over to the McTavishes. So I quite like this, because obviously you could start giving them names and things like that, which would be fun. So I think now we're going to try and activate the hero, who's this dude here. He activates on a D8. So he needs 4+. See whether he manages to activate. He fails. But he does get his 1 move. So he's going to head this way. Because he only failed, he didn't roll a 1, he can still do 1 thing. Or 1 move or reload action. So he's just going to move. And we're back to the Armstrongs again. Okay, so I think what we're going to do next is move... we're going to move our hero. I think that's the way to do it. As we know, it's a D8. And he rolls a 1. So 1 is a fumble. So, because he fumbled, he basically can't do anything this turn, and control passes to the other team. However, it also means there's a random event happens. So we pull out the event cards, give them a bit of a shuffle, turn over the top one. It's just a wee mouse. Reaver horses might be well trained, but they can still be scared of a wee moose. All horses within 4 inches of a leader will immediately carry out a random move in any direction. Now we haven't got any horses, so that has no effect on us. Okay, so we're going to pass back to the McTavishes. So after that stunning success, they are going to move their We're going to move the spearman here. He rolls a 6, so he can activate. He's going to move 2 moves. I think we're going to head round the back of this ruin over here. There we go. And because we passed, we continue. So I think we're going to move our hero forward, our leader forward. Now he's a D10. D10 on activation. Rolls a 10. He's very up for the fight. So we will move him forward to there. And then I think, well, we might as well keep going, really, I suppose. Do we really want to go and fight that guy over there? Let's see what happens, shall we? We're learning the game. So he's leading the way. His blood's up. He's still within 9 inches of those guys, so he will be able to offer command support if they want. And we've only got one guy left, which is this guy at the back. So he's going to try and activate as well. Now he rolls a 1 as well, so he fumbles. So basically, he doesn't do anything at all. He's a bit put off by his boss running off into the distance, and because he's not a hero or a leader, there's no random event. However, that's the end of the McTavish's turn. Everything is activated. You can see where they all are. So we'll just finish off the Armstrongs. Now I think you continue in this case. Well, we've only got 1 man left anyway on this side, and that's the leader himself. Does he go and try and have a fight out against the McTavish leader? I think he has to, really, doesn't he? I think he has to. So he's going to try and activate himself. He rolls a 6, so he is fine. He can move 1, move 2. And that is the end of turn 1, because everything is activated. So we'll pick up all the activation counters, and we'll leave the command and reload tokens, and see what happens on turn 2. So we're rolling for initiative. Who starts? Remember, we roll the leader's intelligence, the D8s. Highest goes first. Now, the Armstrongs do have this special ability card, which allows them to gain +1 on their intelligent roll. I think they might try that now, because I think they want to get initiative. So we're going to play that special card. So blue dice is the Armstrongs, and black is the McTavishes. So it was a draw, but because the Armstrongs played the extra intelligence, they get +1 to move. So everything apart from the hero is within command radius. So we get an extra command token. I believe you get 1 every turn if you haven't spent them. So there we go, that's that. We'll put that against that guy just in readiness. Now then, I'm wondering whether the Armstrongs think that they've got Father McTavish kind of a bit isolated at the moment, and whether it's worth trying to give him a bit of a seeing to before anybody else arrives. So I think what they'll do is they will activate this guy using a command token. Now that doesn't count towards the activations. He still gets 2 actions, but it doesn't count as an activation for him. So he is going to attempt to charge. I think they're going to try. I was just looking to see whether the McTavishes had anything that could interrupt that on special cards, but they don't. This guy has got the ability to charge if he wished to, but I can play that on anybody, can't I? No. Okay, so what we're going to do here, this could get messy. Father Armstrong is passing a command to this spearman to activate and run and charge our leader. No, we're going to do that. Okay, we'll do that anyway. So he will move forward and engage there. We'll take the command token away. Remember, it doesn't count as an activation for the spearman. So we'll see what the spearman can do against the leader. So we've got a bit of fisticuffs coming. So his second action is to do attack. Right, so we both roll against our attack number. The leader of the McTavishes, Father McTavish himself, has a D10. If I can find a D10, there we go, D10. And the soldier has a D6. Highest, both roll the dice, and we're both looking for 4+ to do anything. Now then, because the leader, McTavish, hasn't activated, he could choose not to initiate, instead choose to parry the close combat attack. But he's not going to, because he's tough as nails. So, we're rolling dice. Both of them hit. However, the soldier hits on a 6. So the highest dice roller is the winner. So despite rolling a 6 against the D10, the soldier is the winner. And he rolled a D4. He rolled over 4, 4+. So we go to step 2. The winner of the close combat rolls the number of D6s listed on their weapon damage. So he is a soldier with a spear. He gets 3 dice. Yep, 3d6 he gets. Each 4+ is a wound. So he rolled 1 hit. Take all those dice away because it's getting complicated. So he's rolled 1 hit. Now then, the defender now rolls a defense dice, which for a leader is a D10. And he needs 4+ to block that attack. He rolls an 6, so he passes, and therefore the attack is blocked. So that was a win for the soldier who charged in. Now he has a choice. He can remain in combat and fight the next turn, or he can disengage from combat and the loser, or push the loser back 2 inches. I think he's going to stay in combat because you don't need to activate to stay in combat. So because that was a command activation for that figure from his leader, he can now activate himself and fight again. And I think that's what he's going to do. So we're going to activate this figure. He is going to attempt to activate himself. He doesn't need to activate, sorry, it's an automatic. So we're going to have another punch up. Let's see what happens this time. So we got D10 versus the D10 versus the, I think I rolled, yeah, I did roll the right dice. D10 versus a D6. So this time the leader misses anyway completely. Doesn't matter. It was a lower roll than the soldier. So the soldier hits him again. So the soldier's got his blood up. He's going for his extra bonus points tonight. Three possible wounds, but he rolls 3 1s. So fails to connect. So this time I think he will disengage. So he can disengage up to 6 inches further back from the combat. So basically I think he's going to pull back behind this wall here. So although he managed to go in and have a bit of a fisticuffs, it didn't actually do him any good. So I'll continue with the Armstrong's activations. So that kind of worked well, it didn't really work how we wished. So I think what we're going to do next is activate the guy with the firelock. He's going to try and reload it. He fails, but he does have 1 ability, so it allows him to reload. That's him done, and he's activated. Now that was a failure, so I think we move across to the other team now. So over here on the McTavish's side, they're a bit concerned by the fact their leader is a little bit exposed. I think they're going to try and activate this archer here first of all. He's going to roll a 6, which means he has his 2 activations. Now I think at the moment he can shoot at their leader here, which I think is what they're going to do. So There's no facing on figures. The shot can go past. Okay, can go past his own leader. You're not allowed to shoot over a base of your friendly side. So it's just over a foot away. Bowman has 20-inch range, so that's fine. He's rolling a d6 and he misses. Now, it's not terribly clear, but I think because a bow can reload immediately, I think he can fire again. Since he's not choosing to move. Again, I'm learning this, so I'm not entirely sure, but it doesn't say I can't fire again. And bows do reload immediately, so he's going to have another shot. This time he hits. So he, as an archer, gets 3d6, needing 4 pluses. So he actually gets 2 possible hits on the big man there. He needs to roll to defend himself. So he's been hit twice by the bowman. So he's rolling to defend himself. He rolls d10s. Rolls 2 9s. So both attacks fail. So got lucky there, I think. Might have expected one to go through. So that is the activation over for the archer. I think they're going to try and. I think we're going to try and bring this guy up next. Since he's lagging behind. He still doesn't want to know, but he can move at least 1 turn. 1 activation. There we go. So the Armstrongs are a little bit concerned. They're well, it is going okay with them, I think. So what do? I think we will try and move this soldier here and move him forward. He fails. So, as we know, that's failure of initiative. So he actually doesn't do anything. And again, command passes to the other side. So here on the McTavish side, I think we're going to activate this dude here. He is going to activate, so he gets his 2 actions. And he's going to charge this guy here. So we're going to go for, got a very long spear. So he's charged straight into that bloke there. Now, they both have d6, however the guy has activated, he's fighting already. Does that impact anything, I wonder? No, it doesn't appear he can. If they've, it basically means he can't parry, so it's straight up fight. Oh, I've got the same coloured dice, that isn't helpful. Okay, so this is the McTavish guy running in. He rolls a 1, and the guy defending rolls a 6. So, I could play Vicious as my special ability card, which allows him to re-roll his dice. However, he needs a 6 to beat that, so I think he's just going to have to suck it up. So basically what happens is this guy charges in, he turns around and stabs him as he's coming in. So he's the outcome, let's see what happens. He's trying to hit him on a so he's hit him. We roll a d6 to see whether the McTavish lad coming in can stop the attack. He rolls a 5, which means he does. So he does manage to stop the attack. Now then, because the Armstrong figure won, what does he want to do? I think he wants to push this guy back 2 inches. So that's what he's going to do. So that was a successful activation, even if it was an unsuccessful attack. So fairly, at the moment, fairly bloodless, but I'm sure that will change. Right, let's see who's next to activate. We've got this. We've got the hero and the leader left to activate on the McTavish side. So I think he's going to try and bring forward his hero. The hero activates on a 8d8. He rolls a 1 again. Good grief. these heroes don't want to get involved, so he has finished his activation. It is also a random event. So he fumbled, basically. Truce Day. The families decide, put their quarrels aside and talk things out. The turn ends immediately and fighting starts again next turn. Okay, that's that then. So basically, turn over. So we move on to turn 3. So I'll just clear up the counters and we'll start again. So some people didn't get an action that turn. Actually, pretty much most people did most things, but anyway. Right then, we're on to turn 3, is it? I think so. So each of the commanders has got now their command token. Obviously the McTavishes have more because they haven't actually done anything with theirs so far. So we're rolling the dice. Blue is McTavish. This time the Armstrongs get first go. Right, so I think what we're going to do here, do we use a command token or do we not? First up, we're going to order, I think we're going to try and activate the musketeer. How close are we from here? No, we're going to activate or try and activate our hero. They haven't been very successful so far. The heroes activate on a D8. He rolls a 7. That is a 7 there. And he will now move 6. And then move the other 6 and move into contact with this dude here. So he's charging into contact. He's had enough of this brazen attempt against him. So we have the soldier versus the hero. So the hero rolls a D10 and the soldier rolls a D6. Will the soldier just try and parry? No, I think they'll fight it out. They'll fight it out. So highest wins the combat. Again the hero fails and again the soldier wins. So the soldier wins. He hits the hero. The hero needs to now defend on a D8. He rolls a 7, so he passes, and therefore the attack is stopped. So what does this soldier choose to do? I think he says bug off, and he pushes the guy back 2 inches. I think that's what he'll do there. So that was a successful activation, even if it was a complete failure in terms of attack. It's a bloodless game so far. Right, I think therefore he's going to activate this guy with the torch. He does successfully. So this guy is going to charge into there. So we have a bit of another fisticuffs here. Now if the hero had won that last round and not killed this bloke, he could have chosen to stay in which case when this other guy comes in to fight, he's considered outnumbered, which means he gets a -1 on his dice. But because the soldier failed, because the hero failed to win the combat, he had to. It was the defender's choice, which is why I pushed him away. Right. So the McTavish guy, I'm going to use the bigger red dice, and the Armstrong is a smaller red dice. They both miss on the close to combat. However, the McTavish wins because he rolled the higher dice. So basically, nothing. He doesn't actually hit, but he does win the combat, and therefore again he can choose what happens in the combat. Now bear in mind what was said, he doesn't want this to become an outnumbered fight, so he's pushing the guy away, which also blocks our hero, our leader, from getting into the combat. So next activation for the Armstrongs, which hasn't been going so far. Well, I mean, the activation's going alright, it's just they're not actually managing to do anything. I think therefore they're going to activate the spearman in front. No, they don't. They fail. It's a fumble. The guy doesn't activate, and turn passes to the McTavish's. So what are we going to do here? I think he is going to activate this spearman here. I think that's the first thing he's going to try. It fails. However, he can still move. So I think he's going to pull back to here, because he's getting a little bit outnumbered over there. So he's pulled back to his defender, and that's basically the McTavish turn for the moment. So we return to the Armstrongs. There's a lot of toing and froing, but actually if you were playing a two-player, that'd be quite good, because it means you'd, you know, things happen for both sides fairly rapidly. Right, what should we do over here? I think they're going to try and activate this musketeer chappie. He rolls a 4, so he does successfully activate. He's going to move forward to there, and then I think he's going to have a shot. He's going to have a shot at the enemy leader. So it's well within range. It's 10 inches away. He is a soldier firing his musket. Therefore, he rolls a d6. He actually hits. Oof, that could be nasty. So the musket, or the culver, hits with 6 damage. Sorry, a d6, 4 d6 damage. 4 dice, needing 4s. Hits 3 times. Eek. 3 times. Now, the leader has a decision to make. He does have, I think he has 2 wounds. 3 wounds, actually, 3 wounds. But those, if they all go through, they could kill him here. And we don't want that, do we? So, given the fact he's been hit 3 times by that the culver, I think he's going to play tough as nails, which allows him to gain +1 in his defense dice. So, have I got another d10 anywhere? There we go. Right, 3 d10s, and he's needing 3+ now. Whoops. So 2 failures. Ow. So the hero over there takes 2 wounds. You can only take 3, so that's not good. Not good at all. The marksman, or the culver guy, now needs 2 reloads because he moved first before he fired. So there we go. Now then, is this a chance to finish off the enemy hero? So next up, we're going to activate our leader. Father Armstrong is going to go into action. He is going to activate, or try to activate. So we're going to activate him. He rolls a 4, so he can attack. So he's going to go 1, 2 into this guy here. But before he gets to fight, Slippery opposition is going to play Slippery card. Anytime this character is attacked, close combat and shooting, they can roll their agility dice, and if they pass, they dodge the attack and can be moved 3 inches in a random direction. So the leader has agility 6, d6. He rolls a 4, so he's successful, and he can dodge away back to here. Whoops. This guy's getting rather a lot of tokens here. There we go. And actually, that's everything, unless we want to use... Okay, so I've got that wrong earlier on. So the if you use your command tokens, you can... it doesn't count towards their activations. So he therefore is going to activate this guy using one of his command tokens to move. He's going to charge into this guy here. Really just to protect himself, I think. That's what I'm thinking. So we've got an ongoing feud between these two spearmen. The McTavish's the big dice, so the guy with the big spear has got the big dice, and the Armstrong has the smaller dice. So this time the Armstrong wins. However, he doesn't hit. So I think all he's going to do, sadly, is just push this guy away. Push him there to block the archer's shot. There we go. And I think that's everything on the Armstrong side. So even though they have the initiative, they've activated everything. Not going to use the final command token, so they are going to pass. So McTavish's, what are they going to do? This guy's now got 3 command tokens. Well, I think he's going to have to try and activate one of them. So he's going to use one of his command tokens. He's going to order this guy here, the archer, to move. So he's going to move round so he can get a clear line of shot, and then he's going to fire at the enemy leader. So it's a d6 needing a 4. He misses. So doesn't count towards his activation. So now we can do, he can try and activate himself again. Fails. He can only move. I think it's just going to pull back slightly to there. However, normally command would now pass to the opposition side, but because they've done everything they can do, I think we're going to try and activate the hero down here. He is going to try and attack. He's a D8 activation. Rolls a 1 again. Oh my goodness. So fails to activate. It is also now a random event. No heroes. There are not many heroes in the borders, but many villains. For the rest of this turn, your hero can't use hero points. Well, since he's just fallen over, he can't do anything. Nothing. That doesn't really matter this turn. Okay. So we have to continue on this side because there's nothing on the Armstrong side to do. So the McTavish soldier here, going to try and activate. He fails as well. What should we do? I think we need to get over here and defend our lord. It's going to move in front there. So that's him activated, and the only other person to activate is our big leader here. Now, given the fact he's got two wounds at the moment, I don't think he's going to do anything. And I think because he can, in the recovery turn, he can attempt to remove a fatigue. Yeah. So I think what he's going to do is he's going to try and activate himself, which he does. He's going to pull back slightly to there, and that is the end of the activation phases. Now there is a recovery phase. I haven't done it so far because there hasn't been a need to do it, but in that turn he can attempt to recover one of his wounds. He needs to roll activation, which he rolls a 5, which is fine, and he takes one of the wounds away. So he's now on just the 1. And then we're on to turn 4. Right, we're on to turn 4, I think. Let's roll for initiative. The Armstrongs are the black, and they get initiative. So what to do? their leader is there on his well, he's got support of the spearman. I think what he's going to try and do initially is activate the spearman here. He rolls a 1. So it fails and command passes to the other tide. Right then, so McTavish's turn. I think first up, the archer. Going to try and activate him again. He will attempt to fire. Rolls a 5, so he activates, and he will fire 2 shots at the enemy leader down here. They're within range, it's within sight, there's nobody blocking the shot. So we might as well fire twice, because he can reload immediately. His shooting activation uses a D6. He hits with 1 of the 2 shots. So the leader tries to block using a D10. Fails. So he actually takes a wound. So leaders have 3 wounds, heroes have 2, regular soldiers only have 1. So 1 hit and they're done. So that was a successful shot from the archer. I think we're going to try now to activate the McTavish hero. Not been very heroic so far, but it is this time. He rolls a 7. And therefore he activates, and he's going to charge. Yeah, because he failed to activate, didn't he? Charge into that spearman there who didn't do anything. He will attempt to swing his sword. He gets a D10. The spearman gets a D6. This time he rolls an 8 versus a 3, which means he wins the combat. The soldier needs to defend. Now he only defends on a D6. However, he rolls a 5. So he does actually block the attack. Lucky for him. Now given the fact that... Oh no, because he moved in, then he attacked. So that was his 2 actions. So that was all he can do. He can't attack twice. Now because the hero won the combat... but he didn't manage to kill his opponent. However, he can choose to stay locked in combat, which is exactly what he's going to do. Then we're going to try and activate this guy with the polearm. Whoops. But he fails. He rolls a 3. So he can move, but he can't charge in, which is what we wanted to do with him. Maybe should have used a command token there. I think he will move back towards his own hero here, like that. So turn passes to the Armstrongs. So the Armstrongs, what should we do here? I think what we try and do is activate our hero over this side. He rolls a 10, so he does activate, and he will attempt to charge in and fight this guy here. So we've got a hero on hero action. However, the McTavish hero is outnumbered, so he will get a -1 on his attack. So we have McTavish's against the Armstrong heroes. So McTavish is the white dice, Armstrong is the green dice. They're both rolling D10s. Just move out so you can see the dice rolls. So the Armstrong hits on a 5, so he wins the combat. 5v3. So I am also going to use his special ability, or a special ability card, which is Deed Strike. Character rolls an extra damage dice after they've won hand-to-hand. So he's going to try that. Have we got anything on the defender's side? No, nothing for the moment. So it's just straight up damage. So he's been hit. So the hero needs to defend that. He rolls a D8. Does actually block the attack. However, he loses the hand-to-hand, so it is the Armstrong's decision what to do. Does he... I think he stays locked in combat. He's got the odds there, 2 to 1. So we'll carry on with the other activations for the Armstrong. So we're going to try and activate this guy with the torch down here. He rolls only a 2, so he doesn't activate, but he can still do 1 action. So I think we're going to bring him out to there. He needs to support his hero, his leader, so to speak. And that's that for the moment. So back over to the so the McTavishes. What to do here? I think we're going to use one of the command tokens to activate this spearman, and he is going to attempt to spear this guy here. I think that's what we're going to do. He's within 9 inches of our leader, so we can do that. It's a straight up fight, 6s against 6s. Now I don't think you could claim either of them is outnumbered now, because it's a straight fight, 2 on 2. So the McTavish guy is the bigger of the 2 dice. He actually wins the melee. So the guy with the big spear hits. He is... the Armstrong's defending on a d6. He rolls a 3, which means he fails, and he's killed. Regular soldiers can only take 1 wound. So it's first blood. First blood, and the Armstrong band lose 1 of their soldiers. Now, given the fact that was a command activation, this guy can now try and activate himself. So we'll try and do that. He rolls a 5. What should we do? I think he's going to try and join the fight against their hero here. So he's going to move in and attack there. Now, that hero is outnumbered. However, he does roll a d10 versus the d6, but he will lose 1 off that. So he's now needing a 5 or more. He does actually win. He rolls a 9 versus a 1, so the enemy hero obviously is ganders up because of the his soldier being cut down. So the spearman coming in needs to defend, and he does successfully defend. Now, because this guy won that melee, he's going to choose to push this guy out of the melee. So it's 1-on-1 again. And he is now activated. So, over here on the McTavish's side, the only player left is their leader here, who's got 1 wound. Do we actually try and go and do some fighting with him, or do we try and recover that wound before? I think we're going to try, while we've got their leader tied up, while the hero's tied up, we're going to try and activate. So we're going to activate himself. He rolls an 8, so that's fine. He's going to move into combat there alongside his own hero. Try and put some pressure on the enemy leader, or enemy hero, sorry. So, however, leaders don't fight as well as heroes. So heroes have a d10, leaders have a d8. However, because this guy is now outnumbered, he's now hitting on a 5. So, the McTavish Lord hits. He rolls a 7 versus a 4, so he does hit. So can the hero defend that attack? His defense dice is an 8. He rolls a 3, so he fails. So he takes a wound. So the Armstrong hero takes a wound. They can take 2. So at the moment he's okay. I forgot to move this guy's in. There we go. And I think that's everything on the McTavish side of the table. We've only got 1 activation left on the... well, no, we've got 2 on the Armstrong side. So, so first off, they're going to try and activate the Musketeer. He fails, he fumbles, therefore he can't reload. And normally that would mean that it passes to the opposition. But they've fully activated, so we'll carry on, and it's just Lord Armstrong himself. He's got 1 wound. However, his hero is about to cut down, so I think he needs to try and do something to support. But I'm not sure he can get to the enemy. He can't get to his opposition hero. So he's going. Anyway, let's try and activate himself first up, because that's the important thing. He rolls a 0, which means he can activate. And he is going to engage there. Move the dead body away for a minute. So, he's fighting the hero. Which is maybe not the best thing in the world, but hey, he couldn't get anywhere else. So, D10... Oh, I got that wrong. Sorry, they should have rolled a D8. It wasn't a D8 they roll, it's a D10 they roll on attack. So they have the same stats as shooting. I got it wrong. Oh well. We'll keep going. So green dice for the Armstrong, white for the other one. So he wins. So it may be a mistake for the Armstrong Lord to charge in. So he is defending with a D10, rolls a 1, so he's defeated. He takes another wound, so he's now on 2. And what does he want to do? Does he want to push him out the fight? I think he does. He's going to push him out the fight. No, we don't. We want to lock him in, because if he's locked in combat, he can't recover. In the recovery phase, which is after all the turns of activation, any heroes or leaders that are out of combat can attempt to recover their wounds. So he wants to stay locked in, because otherwise this guy can recover the wound. So that is the end of the turn. We'll take the activation counters away and we're back with turn 5. It's turned into a bit of a fisticuffs in the middle there. And I'm not sure the Armstrongs have got the best of it. They've lost a man already. The leader's on 2 wounds and the hero's on 1 wound. On the opposition side, their leader's on 1 wound, but the hero's intact. We will see what happens. Right, turn whatever it is, 5, 6. I've lost count really, doesn't really matter. McTavishes are the black dice. The Armstrongs are the blue dice. This is for initiative. So the, what did I say? McTavishes were on black, weren't they? So Armstrongs take initiative, which is good. They needed that. I think he's going to activate this guy here. No, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to start with our big man, our hero, and he's going to fight there. Now you don't need to activate when you're hand to hand. So he will just be a straight fight off between the leader and the hero. Both are rolling D10s. Get that right dice out. So we're going white with the Armstrongs, green with the yeah, white and green. So white with the Armstrongs, they lose. So he hits him. Can he defend it? He rolls a 4, which is just what he needed. If he'd been outnumbered, he would not have succeeded. Therefore, he wins, and he's going to push this guy back out of the fight. There we go. So these now are out. He's now outnumbered. Right. So next up, Armstrong leader is going to have to activate this guy with a torch, which he doesn't manage to do. That's a bit of a disaster. Maybe we should have used the command roll. I'll tell you what we're going to do. I'm going to move back to here. He's then going to burn his last command roll. He needs to get some support in this melee. And he is going to charge into there. He's going to take on the enemy leader, sorry. So the Armstrong soldier is the red dice. It's one versus one. So basically it's a draw, so you have to refight, have to keep going. Has to be a result in hand-to-hand. Blimey, a 4 versus a 2. So the guy with the torch actually wins the melee. Can the leader... He did hit. Can the leader stop the attack? Use a 10-sided dice. He doesn't. So he's taken a second wound. So he's hanging on with his fingernails, and he will stay locked in combat. Okay. This is getting very interesting indeed. So that was a free activation for the Armstrong because he used his command token. So now he's going to attempt to activate himself anyway, but he rolls a 2, so he fails. So he's going to stay exactly where he is, and activation moves to the other side. Our leader is on 2 wounds, but our hero is perfectly intact. Now he could try and cut down the Armstrong leader, and I think that's what he's going to try and do. So he's going to roll. We're going to we don't need to activate because they're in melee. But it does count as his activation. So he is going to roll D10s, both on D10s. The Armstrong is on the white. So Armstrong wins. He beats our hero. Can he stop the attack? Yes, he stops the attack. So he is pushed back out the fight because I think we're trying to get the outnumber going here. Now, I think therefore we're going to use his command token, his last one, to order him back into the fight. So he'll go charge back in again. Remember, if you're using command tokens, you can reactivate. So white for the Armstrong. No, he loses this time. So we win this combat. Can he block the attack? It's not outnumbered. I think we're going to play... No, we haven't got anything to play. So can he save it? He does. Roll a 4. Oops, that rolled over. It was a 4. So he loses, but doesn't get wounded and is pushed back out the fight. Like that. So now we have these two out the fight against... Okay, next up we're going to try and activate the archer. He activates. He's going to have 2 shots at their leader, I think. Seems like the best thing to do. There's nobody in the way, but he misses with both shots. Oh dear, that's a shame. Still our turn. So he hasn't activated, he has, and these two haven't. So he's going to try and activate this guy here, which he successfully does. And he's going to charge their leader. Like that. Can he take him down? Rolling their dice. It was a draw on the combat, but they both qualified as hitting. What happens with that? Let's just double check. Right, you just keep rolling until there's a winner. Okay. So this time our leader over there, Armstrong leader, wins. Can the soldier block the attack? Whoops. Yes, he can. He rolls a 6. So we'll push him back out the combat and hope that we can recharge our wounds there. Right, onwards. Still the Armstrong go. No, it's not the Armstrong go. It's this lot over here, and I've forgotten their names already. So they've only got this guy left. Oh, and their hero, their leader. Sorry. I'm going to attempt to move him. Fails. That's a bit of a bummer. So we'll just move him up. Just move him up to there, I think. And that's him activated. Now it was a failure, so it's now over to the Armstrong turn. Right, Armstrongs. We are going to attempt to activate the Arquebus guy down here. I've lost the dice. What have I done with it? There we go. He rolls a 2, so fails again. However, he can use one action to reload, so it's partially activated. Partially reloaded, sorry. So he's still got one reload. What to do next? Oh, it's a failure, wasn't it? So it is now their turn. They've only got their leader left. And he's locked in combat. So I don't think he can pull out of combat. I don't think you're allowed to leave combat. So he has to fight against the swordsman there. So he doesn't really want to do it because he's only got one wound left. Let's see what happens. So he actually wins the melee 9-1. So the soldier with the sword does manage to block the attack, and he is pushed back to there, which actually is not bad for him because that means he can potentially recover a wound. So they haven't got anything else to activate. So that's the end of their turn. What's to do with the Armstrongs? They've only got well, they've got the hero and the leader left to activate. I feel like we've got to recover a wound with the hero. Sorry, with the leader, because he's only, well, in fact they could both do with recovering. I think they're going to pass. And they're going to attempt to reactivate to recover their wounds. So we're going to call that turn. So in the recovery phase, any heroes with wounds are able to attempt to recover a wound. So both these guys on the Armstrong side will attempt to, because neither of them are in hand to hand. They both have a wound. So for their leader, he rolls a 2, so he fails to. And the hero, he rolls a 3, so fails to. So neither recover. Over here on the, I've forgotten where they are now. That leader, he rolls a 1 and fails 2. So that was easy. So nobody recovers any wounds. So they should have just gone and kicked the snot out of each other as proper. We'll just take the markers away if we can without knocking everything over. Right, next turn. Dice for initiative. I didn't say who was who. Let's re-roll that one. Armstrongs are the blue dice. They get initiative. I'll tell you what we are going to do though, before they do anything, the other side are going to play the heroic action card. Quick charge. When a rival player currently has initiative, you can play this card and have your hero carry out an immediate charge and close combat before they can attempt to activate. It doesn't count as your character activation for the turn. So that's this guy here, and he is going to try and attack the enemy hero, enemy leader there. So his dice will be green. The Armstrong leader is a white. I think he's going to have to say he's outnumbered, however, because that guy is right there. So he's needing a 5. However, it doesn't stop him. It's 10v9, so he actually wins the combat and hits the Armstrong leader. This could be crucial. Can he block the attack? No, he can't. He rolls a 2, which is an extra wound. So he's cut down. Father Lord Armstrong is cut down in the combat. That's brutal. That is brutal. Okay. I think the bands have to do an initiative test if that happens. Let me just check. I'm not playing all the advanced rules because I'm still working through it, but if the family lose their leader, the player must select the next highest character in the family to collect and use the leader's command points for the remainder of the game. Any command points collected before the losing of the leader are considered dead, are considered lost. Okay, so it doesn't appear doesn't appear there's any kind of command boost. So basically the hero here becomes the new leader of the band and takes over. So okay, he hasn't got any command tokens anyway, so that is that. So we'll continue with the Armstrong's turn, even though they've just lost. They're now 2 men down. This is not looking good for them at all. They need to get some revenge. They haven't got any decent cards. I think first up he's going to try and activate the guy with the torch. He rolls a 5, so he does activate, and he's going to go in against their leader there. Risky, but he wants to try and get revenge back. So rolling the dice, both roll 1. So keep going. 5v. So actually the guy with the torch wins that melee. So could it be revenge the other way round? Can he take down the other clan leader? He does. He rolls a 1. So that's a failure. He's on 2 wounds already, so that's his 3rd wound, and he's cut down 2. So both the clan leaders have been taken out. Wow, that's pretty unexpected, shall we say. He's now activated. So nothing else happens. So we're now the rest of the turn. What should we do next? Our hero is on 1 wound. I think first up he's going to try and activate the arquebus guy down here. He successfully does. He uses his first activation to reload, and then he's going to fire at that guy there, I think, because he's not in cover. The shot goes around, so it's in range, needing force to hit. Hits. So the arquebus Calver hits with 4d6. All 4 hits. Ouch. All 4 hits. So that soldier needs to defend that. Tried his very best, but 1 goes through, and they've only got 1 wound, so he's taken out by the musket. Crikey. Suddenly exploded into life, literally. Musket guy gets 2 reload counters, and has finished his turn. So the only thing left on the Armstrong side is their hero. And it's looking a little bit happier. It's him and a soldier against a soldier and a hero. So I think therefore he's going to try and activate himself, which he does. Rolls a 9. Going to hop over the wall, which he can do. Doesn't need to. If they're under an inch high, he doesn't have to worry about agility rolls to do that. If they're over that, he has to do an agility roll to jump over. And he'll hand-to-hand this guy here. I think he's got. If he can finish off this guy, then they've got an outnumber on the enemy hero. However, he wins. He wins the hand-to-hand, 9v5. So even though the soldier rolled a good roll, he didn't manage to stop the attack. Can he block it? He rolls a 1, and he's cut down as well. Crikey, nothing happened for ages, and suddenly their gander's up. Now that is the last of the Armstrong figures activated, because their leader was killed. So we've only got 1, 2 and 3 left on this side, and on the other side, well, we're down to 2 figures. So let's move over to their turn. Okay, what to do? I think we're going to try and activate the archer. He fails, but he can still move. So he's going to move out to here to try and get an angle. Now it would pass back to the Armstrongs, but he obviously can't do anything. So he's going to activate himself. She does. and he'll charge this guy here, the torch wielder. And we've got another battle. 3v3, so it's a draw. There has to be a result. 6v4, so he wins. Can the soldier block the attack? No, he can't, and he's cut down. Good grief. Right. So, at the end of that turn, we have an archer and a hero versus a musketeer and a hero. And he's on 1 wound. However, he can, because he's no longer in combat, he can attempt to take his wound off him. He rolls a 10, so he does. So he's now clear of wounds as well. Alright. Next turn. I thought the Armstrongs had this for a minute, but now it's turned round again. So activations. Let's see who goes first. Armstrongs with the blues. So it's this lot first. So we're going to try. Oh, we get command tokens. Now it goes on the heroes now because the lords are dead. Transition of power is brutal. Right, we're trying to activate this guy. He rolls a 4. He's going to fire 2 shots at that guy there. Okay, so he is in cover because this shot has to go over this bit of wall here. We're going to say that's soft cover. So it's -1 to hit. It's 2 shots. Would be a 4, but goes down to a 5 now. Or goes up to a 5. So he gets 1 hit. The other one thuds into the wall. The hero has to try and block that. It's a D8 defense. Doesn't manage to. Okay, so he's hit by an arrow. Boop. There we go, and that's him activated. So next we're going to activate our hero, which he successfully does, and he's going to attack. He's going to come round the wall so he doesn't have to. So 1 move to there and then 2nd into combat and attack this guy here, and we've got some a bit of a beating going on. So Armstrong's hero is the green dice. He actually wins the combat. Do we block the hit? Yes, we do. So I think he will push him out of combat, I think. Do we want to? Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, we might as well stay locked in combat because then it's automatically a fight back next turn. Otherwise he'd have to try and roll for activation. And that's all our turn activated. So first up, we'll try and activate the arquebus guy over there. Oh no, he's already done, hasn't he? Was that this go? Yeah, he shot that guy down, didn't he? No, he didn't. I've left that counter against him, so he hasn't activated. So let's activate him. He will double reload. I may have got that wrong, but anyway. And then this guy, because he's all in hand to hand here, it's an automatic activation. So his dice is the green one. He loses to this guy, and he takes another wound, which would kill him. And I can't see anything that will stop that happening. So he takes his 2nd wound and is cut down in the melee. So he is victorious. And I think we're going to say that the musketeer would probably at this point decide me against 2. I'm not sure that's going to go well, would slink off. So I'm going to give the victory to the McTavishes. Brutal fight in the end. It took a while to get going. But once they started to get into hand-to-hand and all those 2-on-1s and what have you were happening, they went down pretty quickly. So I quite enjoyed that, actually. I think this is going to be a really fun game for a 2-player. I mean, it's as a 1-player, I'm having to wander between the 2 sides because there's a lot of rotation of the turn. But as a 2-player, that would be a huge advantage because you're not getting bored waiting for your turn, and also playing some of those special ability cards would be quite crucial at different points. And I remember this was an unusual mission. This was get in and kill each other, which most of the missions are more about getting in, getting the goods and getting away again. But I enjoyed that. I thought it was a good system, and the rules are quite intuitive. You know, fours to hit, fours to succeed. Who loves a rule system where it's just one simple roll to succeed? And there's not many counters, so that's good as well. Not many figures, sorry. Now, that was a small game. You could play with up to 20, I think it says in the rules, which might get a little bit bulky in terms of managing what you've got, but then it's fairly simple. The stats are all the same pretty much for the different classes, and mostly then you'd have a lot of soldiers who are basically D6. The difference is their weaponry that they have. So if they hit, they do... Oh, I didn't do that, did I? Okay, strike that. I've just realised I made a big faux pas. So when you hit somebody, you do the damage equivalent to the weapon they've got. Oh well, that changes a lot, but never mind. I did it wrong for both sides. So when they hit, these guys with the sword would hit with 3d6, so they could actually cut someone down in one go. Oh well, I've got that wrong, but never mind. That's the beauty of playing these rules for the first time. So like the archers, like the arquebus guy, they have a damage rating. So the guy with the polearm hits with 4d6, guy with a sword hits with 3d6. So different weapons have different things. That does give a little bit more bookkeeping, but I guess you just have to produce the different cards for your different troops. So I don't know how that would have played out. It might have meant that, I guess it means the common soldier has more of a chance of taking down even a hero, because if he wins that dice off, he's got more chance of doing more damage, and has more chance of killing them. It makes sense because I was doing the archer and the arquebus guy getting multiple damage hits, whereas the swordsman weren't. So anyway, my mistake, sorry about that. Next game will be different, but I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed that. I thought it was a good fun system, and to and fro, very simple, very intuitive, and I think the games will be fast and furious. Most games are only sort of 5 or 6 turns long, so you know, fun evening game. I think you probably get a couple of games in, and I think if you start to play a scenario type setup, you could have family feuds that are going on over multiple games, which is always good fun. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. Sorry about the cock up with the combat, but those are breaks when it's your first ever game, and literally this is my first time of playing. I only finished painting the figures the other day, so this is the first run out for them. And I enjoyed it. I will do some more. So if you liked it, please subscribe, comment, do all the good stuff, share, show your granny over Christmas, that kind of stuff. And I will see you again soon. I hope you're well, hope you're safe, I hope you're having a great festive period, and enjoying your time out of work if you are lucky enough to do that. And if you're not, and you're doing something work related, good luck to you, and thank you so much for keeping everything running for us. In the meantime, this is Dom signing out, about to go back and have another eggnog. See you soon. Stay safe.